Hi, my name is Joanna, and today I'm going to talk about my menopause journey. So, for those who don't know me, 20 years ago I was diagnosed as the seasonal depressive bipolar, but I've been having depressive and hypomanic episodes for the last 32 years. I believe it is important for us women to share our experience about menopause. Menopause is part of our life. It's natural, except for some very exceptional clinical cases. But I don't see it really discussed a lot. There are plenty of videos in YouTube, I noticed that, but in the daily life, it's not really discussed, and I think that sometimes we may suffer without need, because when we share experience, we share information, and with information we can deal better with what is happening to us, and psychologically and physiologically. So I'm going to pass my testimony. In this video, I'm going to be very detailed about me, my menopause, but also I'm going to get in some information about the woman's intimate life. So I will need to cut the video in 3, but I will upload it everything at the same time. Usually I don't do that, but this time I will do it. So, to be more accurate, I'm going to read the definition of menopause, so we are all in the same page. So, menopause corresponds to the end of spontaneous menstruation and can be confirmed after 12 consecutive months without any menstrual period. And usually menopause can occur between 40 and 50 years old, but in some cases can happen very early, around 30, or later around 60 years old. My menopause occurred in 2021, and it was 1 month after my 46th birthday, and that was 1 year and 8 months ago. So I'm confirmed, I'm post-menopause. My first menstruation happened when I was 13. My cycles were irregular because the length of my menstrual cycles will depend on the seasons also. In my body, everything depends on the season, or used to depend on the seasons. So during winter, my menstrual cycles were short, very short, was around 15 days. But in summer, late summer, it will be around 30 days, so 4 to 5 weeks. I don't have children. I never gave birth because I could, but I didn't. And at the time of the menopause, I was not taking any kind of contraceptives already for several decades, but I was on medication already for 18 years. My medication was during 9 months of the year an antidepressant, and every day a mood stabilizer. The mood stabilizer that I take is actually an antiepileptic medication, and that's it. That was what I took as medication. So in 2016, I remember around January 2016, so that was 5 or 6 years before my menopause, I was 6 months without my period. It was the first time that ever happened to me. And at the time, also it started my night sweats. So since then, since 2016, that I not able to sleep with even a pajama, and it's normal at the middle of the night I wake up completely wet, and yeah, I just have to throw blankets out, bed sheets out, and that happens winter and summer. So, and also something that I have to do, I go to bed with at least half a liter of water. Usually I drink during the evening around half a liter to 700 milliliters of water. At the time, I went to my gynecologist and I told her that I was without my menstruation for almost half a year, or just half a year. And she told me that it was probably stress. Since I was changing job, I say maybe, but the reality is that I had plenty of stress in my life, plenty, believe me, and it never altered my cycles. It was always that irregularity. So I think at the time it was already the first symptom of premenopause. After that, so between 2016 and 2021, I had again twice an interruption for around 3 months of my period. Apart from it, I didn't have any kind of alteration. My cycles were the normal, and I never had an excessive blood loss, quite the opposite. I think that with time, my menstruation started to be with less and less blood and a little bit shorter, but nothing radical. To be honest, I was very surprised the way it all was over. I have nothing specific for that menstruation. It was probably the second time that I have a 3 months stop, and then it stopped really. And it was no different from the others, no shorter or longer. It was just another period. But it was the last one. So I believe that in 2019 I already have some hot flushes, because sometimes I was in the meetings and I would pick a paper and I would start shaking the paper because I was getting really hot. But it was not extraordinary. It was not what I heard describing many times, like, yes, I get very red. That I think it happened a couple of times that I got really red, but it was last year, and I was on the phone with my mom and she said, yeah, you are starting looking like a tomato. But at the time in 2019, no, not really. I would have to pick a paper like this and just go, this is so good. But nothing extraordinary, and it will be from time to time. Then in 2020 and 21, I don't remember that happening. In 2022, I had that probably for 2 or 3 months, and then it stopped. And 2 months ago, I have it again for 1 or 2 weeks, but we are talking like tops once a day and not every day. And and they were not really very, last year in 2022, yes, and there were sometimes that were very intense, very, I was really very hot, and then I would get very, very cold. It happened to me for a week or two that I was like that almost every day. and maybe more than once a day, but it was for a week or two. So nothing. So this is the end of the first part of the video. There'll be a second and a third part. Please be aware of it, okay?